Okay. Now I'm going to share just the remote desktop. That should appear in this live stream. So there's the desktop. And we're being live streamed. And I'm going to share just the remote desktop. There we go. And now everything you see, I see, and I'm going to hide the meeting controls. And now I'm on the remote desktop, and last time I tried opening up this workspace, the one that I copied into public, it opened up just fine. Now I'm going to try copying it from public from 821 to 831 and see if it opens up that way. I'm going to rename it from 21 to 31. Now I'm going to try opening that workspace. So opening up Eclipse. And it remembers the last workspace, so it should open up 21 with all of those perspectives in it. And you can see the workspace name there. It is 21. And again, you can use the taskbar to change between the different perspectives. But now I'm going to shut this down and try I'm going to try changing perspectives, changing workspaces to the one that I just copied and renamed to 31. So file, switch workspace, other. So it's the same folder, just the copy. Okay, I shut down the old workspace. Woohoo! It works. And you can see it's opening up the same workspace, the same set of perspectives, but with the 831 suffix. So it is a valid way to version or copy and share your work with somebody else. Now, I'm going to see if the purchase order works the same here as it did in the other workspace. So I've got there's the system record ID, and I'm going to make it required. And run it. Okay, so I'm going to do generate to PDF again, because that's a proper test for form reports. And you see this dialog strictly when you're running it from Eclipse. If I was to publish this to UAT now, I think you would see this dialog disappear. But the way it's set, you can go through each of your different test scenarios this way, and it will execute them. So in this case, I had it defaulting to the non-inventory first item, the PO 7154. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And it didn't generate, which is interesting. So maybe I've told you wrong. Maybe I'll take the required off. So then we should skip that dialog and it'll just execute this directly, whatever is set as the default. Let's try that. That didn't work either. So it's like it's broken. Oh, I didn't do a connect. I opened up the workspace and I did not connect. My bad. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to connect. And then I'm going to try taking that required parameter off. Okay, it is off. I'm going to set it back on and see if we can toggle between these. So there it's showing the display text of the default item. I'll press OK. And it looks like it's taking its time. I think it's actually doing something this time. Yippee skippy, it did. So I'm going to save this to 831. Give it a new name here. At 1550. So now I'm just curious with the fact that we have that default parameter set. I wonder if I can change it so you don't have to set it each time. So I'm going to go from here to the services, because I know that that's a good service record. So PDF. And I'm going to use the drop down this time. And I'm going to take that last service record and see what happens. Looks like it's going to work. I think that it's working. So 7010738815. And this service order had an issue date. You know, I thought that perhaps there was a bug in the report because it wasn't displaying. But if there's not an issue date, blank is appropriate. And that's what the other two service orders in this test set list do. I'm going to save this. Actually, I'm going to grab it from here. Okay. So there's the order as I generated. Oh, I think I got to maximize that one too. Maximize. There we go. Then I can change to it. Now I'm going to save that. To this name and give it the workspace. '20 23 08 31 15 53. There we go. So I think that is a, you know, now final test to see if this is going to stick is to see if I can publish this. And if I can publish this with the code in place, I think we're ready to rock with this method going forward for testing form reports. So I'm going to export this. So here you see that it's from the copied workspace that I made. And this is the altered purchase order. And original is right here. And again, to show that, I wonder if we here. So I copied into a separate workspace, and I'm opening up two report designs across different projects. And I'm saying compare with each other. And there we go. So this does seem like a good way to do it. So the only change should be the test set inclusion via the lists box. And if I do a compare of the original to this for these records, they should be identical. But what I want to do is, actually, I'm thinking about this now. So there's two ways to test it, right? There's ways to test it in Eclipse, where you don't have to go back and forth each and every time with your test sets, or you test it from Tririga directly, in which case you would want to go to each and evaluate it. We can test it both ways, so we know it's working. So again, that's how you do it. Compare across versions of report designs. So with that, compare with each other. I'm going to shut that down. And I'm going to export this to try to update it to the server. So I'm not going to switch. I'm going to export. And again, what I'd been doing myself was trying to keep everything in the workspace. So actually, I made a folder within the workspace itself and called it OMP. And I'm gonna let's see now. Actually, this is where you export it and you actually hang this updated version. It's already hanging from where it ought to be. But I have to update, I have to take this export that I'm going to make. Okay. I'm going to call it export so I can keep it straight in my head. So there's the export folder. So now I'm going to export from here. And we're going to do it to an archive file. And we're in the proper that's going to be the name of the archive file. But I'm going to click it at the head level right there. And then open this so you can see that there's more to it. So you can add to it other things if you want to keep everything together on the server, or not. It's your choice, I guess. But I would make a backup of maybe at least the doc files, so that you know that the copies that you run in production when they do a regression test match or don't match. Okay, so here is that, and all of the project, report design, and properties files are selected. And I'm not going to select export or OMP. That's interesting. Doc did not show up. and create only selected directories. Here we go. So this should put this, all of this into this folder inside my workspace. What's the problem? Try checking that off. That worked. Interesting. Okay. So now if we, on resources, do a refresh, I would expect to see something in here. Under navigate. Interesting. I don't see those folders. I see an entry, but not the folder itself. See the files there. Do a file refresh again. I'm going to try doing a restart and see if that clears things up. So now we're in the new copied cloned workspace. We did an export into the export folder within that workspace, within that project folder. And it's reopening everything as it had last loaded it. And now if we float over here, this should be the guy we want. It is. And now we do see a folder export. So that's exciting. Actually, we see an entry there, but we don't see anything in it. Still do see these. Nothing there. I'm going to try exporting it again now that we have a folder created and everything is in sync. So export. So these are different. Or are they? I don't see OMP here. Do I see it under here? I do not. So create only selected directories. So you do have to select it. In this case, I'm going to select everything. select these off. So and see if I can export this to that export folder. Already exists. Would you like to overwrite it? I'm going to say yes. Problems encountered during export. Details. Interesting. Resource is not a file. I'm going to check. Ah, that's why. It is there. Now what's happening is I'm going to kind of trick it. I'm going to take everything here. Take off the doc and the Z archive and take off the export and the OMP in here and see if we can create it that way. And it says that you do have a file there. Should we overwrite it? Yes. And it did it. Interesting. Now I'm curious whether if we refresh this, didn't really refresh it. So even though you can do this, you may not want to. It would be nice if everything was kept inside the workspace, in my thinking. I'm going to clear this log and try it again. So now problems, no problems. I'm going to go ahead and export this again. So I'm going to start at the project. File, export. We're at the archive file. And I'm going to click the top level test local purchase order. Then I'm going to uncheck these. And there we see everything's selected. I'm going to uncheck these two. And where is this going? Ah, not at all where I thought it was going. I wanted to go back here. Ah, there's my workspace. Here. 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 Let's see if it does that. And save it as, what was our name? Admin purchase order. Let's see. So that is what we would actually publish through Form Builder and through the document link on Form Builder. Let's see if that works. And so there we go. So everything's in the workspace. And let's see what happens if I refresh these now. Fresh. Nothing to refresh. Okay. It's trying, it's still thinking. Let's look in the navigator. Perspective. Do a refresh here. Nothing there. As far as Eclipse is concerned, we've exported it, so it's something that it's not expecting to see. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad or broken. Okay. So now I'm going to exit this. And I'm going to go to Form Builder. So here we are, Form Builder. And I remembered my login. Excuse me. Here we are in UAT Tririga. Tools. And what I was showing Swati earlier today was going to the actual external query where this is located. Let's see if we can do that. So actually, it's not an external query. It's the object. So when it's the same principle, but it functions and acts a little differently because this is a form report. So what I do need to do is go to Form Builder. See if I can get there from here. Form Builder. Go to Purchase Order. That's in the Try Contract. Object. And find Purchase Order. There's Purchase Order. Open that up. Okay. Open it up. And go to the Include section. Okay, here we are. So this is, again, where it got really kind of funky and difficult to, in my mind, place things. So there's a hook here in Form Builder and in the purchase order object to Document Manager to this item. So when I open that from here, it's going to Document Manager under the covers and to the admin purchase order report as it sits out in CST BERT. And now I haven't done a checkout here. I'm going to do a checkout. Okay. So it's making a copy in my Z archives folder where I downloaded everything else. So calling it Z. So these should be identical, the 1.0 and this copy. There we go. So that's checked out now. And now I'm going to check it in from that export that we just made. So select file for upload. So now I'm going to go to C, users, public, this new workspace, and the purchase order export I made. There it is. And see how that goes. And submit. And save that. And I think we need to do a publish. There we go. Let's see if that works now. So I'm going to exit Document Manager. I'm going to go back to purchase order. And pull it up. But I'm going to locate my test cases through the locator screen versus that drop down. That should now no longer exist for Trirega's purposes. It only exists in Eclipse. So going back to Eclipse, do I have Eclipse open? I don't have it open. I'm going to open it again so I can look at that test set. And it should remember now this new workspace. And it does. There we go. So now I'm going to go again to purchase order. This is the one that we've updated. So it's still purchase order. So it was the working copy. Just make sure that I'm going to open up report parameters and check the system record ID. And it still does show this. Great. And now in theory, I should be able to go directly in here and pull up an order. For instance, grabbing that out of the display text. So let's see. So now I'm not going to do that in Eclipse, though. I'm going to do that back in Tririga proper. So here's Tririga screens. Here's the locator screen. And I'm going to paste that in here. And there it is. And I'm going to open that up. Wait for that to fully load. And I'm going to print that again here. Select the form, in this case, not POCO, but admin purchase order. And please select the form and then print. So maybe it doesn't. Oh, there we go. It's clicking it again, initiates it. And it should generate it to the screen this time. And then we should be able to save it from there, export it from there through the server. So it should be 3816, and it is. Super. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to export that as PDF. Again, to my doc. Well, admin purchase order combined. So we may want to check the name on the original, see if it's the same. That's one thing I didn't check. But now, here, go back to Eclipse. I'm going to pull up that test ID again. 816. Yes. So I'm going to grab that from the display text. And save it up here. Generated on the server. With a list box versus single text box for system records. That's a really long name, but so it is. So do I want it on after images? admin purchase order. I'm going to put it in here. Right there. And I'm going to go ahead and generate the rest of these so I can compare them with the previous version. I should actually try to roll back now that I've updated this. Or have I updated this? Yes, I have updated this. So I wonder if I could roll back a version. That'd be fun to try. But maybe enough for now. So then the final step might be to see if we can upload the actual workspace to Google Drive and store it there and restore it from Google Drive to local and open it. So, but that'll be a knowledge transfer session 4. So what we did here, I think, was good. It is working. So now shut down these screens. Log out here. Log back in. But as single sign-on. And go to form builder. And go to contract. Try contract. There we go. Go to purchase order. Go to includes. And we have admin purchase order report. And there's that code. Okay. And that's interesting. Now it says revise. Versus check out. So I guess I'm interested to see what's out in Document Manager for this file. Let's try doing a revise. Ah, and now you can do a checkout. So checkout. But how do you get to the history? That's what I really wanted to get to. And you cannot see that from Form Builder. I think you can only see that from Document Manager. And it's a whole nother area. So I'm going to stop right here. And I'm going to go to Document Manager directly. Here we go. Tools. And I'm going to open that in a new tab. Document Manager in a new tab. There's Document Manager in a new tab. Oh, it works. That didn't work under the old version, I think, of Tririga. Now, see if I can browse into CST BERT. Okay. CST BERT. And what about the admin purchase order report? Purchase. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go full screen. And I'm going to try to locate the admin purchase order in here, just again to verify what's happening under the covers in Document Manager, if we can. And interesting, it's not showing here. Interesting. Oh, well, maybe this is the issue. It puts you right back. But let's see. CST BERT. The default is 50. Let's do 1000 and browse in there. I would think you'd see it up at the top there with standard contract. Interesting. So is it under the parent folder, maybe? Again, it's so cluttered. Let's call it admin. It's called admin purchase order. What's it called in Eclipse? We exported it to admin purchase order. Let's see. We can find that back in Document Manager. But here we are in Form Builder still. If I open it here, no, it's not checked out. But I checked it out, revised it, and published it. So that really should be the name that we exported to, I believe. I don't know. No. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to check it out here. Ah. And now we can make our copy of it into whatever spot we choose. I'm going to go to public, this workspace, this purchase order, and right here. That was one made at 411. Or 1649, 39. So I've checked it out. And let's see what it looks like. So back to Eclipse. Here's admin purchase order. And I'm going to import into a new project called 1639, just to see if we can make it happen here. So here's admin purchase order combined. So I'm going to say new perspective, new project, report project, and I'm going to make it project name test local purchase order 1639. There we go. There's 1639. And I'm going to import into that. File, import. And archive. And I'm going to browse to that file we just downloaded. Where did I put that? I put it under export. Well, that's to import into. So that's where we're importing into. Now we have to browse to that file I just downloaded. There it is. Import from there. Okay. And finish. Overwrite project in that folder. Yes. So now I should have a separate project here. There it is, combined. So now I'm going to do, this is standard contract or it's something else. New window, maximize it. Go here, double click here. And voila. See if it came in with what I expected. So here's the data explorer. Here's miscellaneous. And it's there. So you can publish it with stuff embedded in it. So I think I'm going to leave that published and undo my checkout. And if it's if the PDFs compare, I'm just going to leave it for the next go round so you can go with this 1639 version as your next PO change. And instead of 1639, give it a true version number yourself, perhaps, or try to match it to what we think it is in Tririga. I don't know if it displays that in Document Manager. Let's go back there. So there's Form Builder. I click on that. There's Document Manager. There's the description. We see revision 1.1 made today at 16:30. Life, I think, is good. Checked out to Michael B. I'm going to cancel my checkout. And while I think what that means is that these do go into a separate area in Document Manager than what we expect. Like into the root folder for all form reports, is my guess. Now, okay, so I canceled the checkout. So now if we look at, so now it says checked in 1.1 comments. There we go. Checked out, checked out. And what does it say here? Checked out, that's all it says. DM comment. Document Manager comment. Close that. Close that. So I'm back here now. So form reports truly are a different animal. History. There's where it is. And there it's checked in. So this is all the work I've been doing today. Okay, I'm going to have a separate session where I just try to go from start to finish with admin purchase order. So right now it's pulling up I'm not sure I've proved anything. I'm going to cancel the checkout. So, but what I download, when I did that checkout and save of the file, I could see that it had made a change. Publish. Okay, so these are all under admin purchase order. So to truly back warp to what we had prior, we should probably have checked this one out over the top of what I have and do it check back in. So what happens if you get this file? Can I pull that one up? There's that file. Can I save it? No. So that versioning inside BERT doesn't seem to be very useful in the document manager, I mean. So I'd be curious to see now if when it generates the output, it generates it to admin purchase order versus this name or something else, or whether it does it combined. Okay, so I've undone my checkout. I still have the in progress version in the troubleshooting workspace. I'm going to shut down everything and we'll go from there. So 1639 was the new one. And we did see that download and get entered. So I'm going to go ahead and exit this. There it is. There it is. And there you see work in progress. $15.30. Well, does that mean I didn't check it in? Yeah, I didn't. Wait a minute. Go here. This is what we're seeing in Tririga inside Form Builder. Ah, check out. Ah. Interesting. So I wonder if, and there's the name I saved it as. Well, I'm glad we have a Friday before the holiday. I'll try to put everything back the way it was, but this is what's happening then. So cautionary tale, that root folder is full of not just files that were generated willy-nilly by capital projects, but it also contains the form reports for admin purchase order and standard contract and whatever other form reports we have. That's in that, not CST BERT as I thought, but under root. Interesting. Well, I learned something today. So I'm going to just shut this session down and call it a day. Log out. And I don't have Eclipse up. I'm going to escape. What happened to the Zoom session? Oh, I'm still here. So stopping the live session.